Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Marked by Wrestling. It's time to watch some NXT. Um, Hope everybody's ready. It looks like we're starting off with the Iron Survivor Summit, whatever that means. And so here we are. Good to see you guys. I'll be catching up with you guys in the chat momentarily. So we got Kendall, Lola, Soul, Jordynne, and Kelani. I think it's going to be a great match. Okay. So Ruca laying her claim to being a world title contender. Hi, Drew. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to preserve my voice a little bit tonight. My voice is a little weak. I know you guys probably can hear that in my voice, so I'm gonna do my best to make it through this evening and still enjoy our time together. Jordynne Grace here to interrupt now. What's up, Justin? Man, that SEC championship is always a monkey on my shoulder, dude. I'll be glad when that's out of the way and know what Georgia's playoff plans are. Oh, congratulations, George! Glad you were able to get yourself squared away, man. I know that's got to feel like a relief. Lola Vice gets the biggest response out of everybody interrupting so far. That's worth noting. Louder than Sol Ruca and Jordynne Grace. This is a pro Lola crowd. Decent ovation for Kendall Gray, too. Kelani getting booed out of the building. Yeah, they're trying to Dominic Mysterio Kelani or Josh Briggs her if you want to use NXT language. I'm at least glad Kelani's getting a loud reaction. Hmm. Kalani cut a good promo for sure. Fatal Influence coming out to interrupt things because they want to ruin the segment. Justin, I loved Braun Breaker's promo last night. Like, as far as promos go, like it was a little rough around the edges in terms of like his delivery and stuff like that. But Braun Breaker as a character shouldn't have super clean sounding promos. So that sort of roughness, that rawness of his promo, his emotion was a lot more connective than his words. And that's perfect for Braun. Loved it. Oh, I know. Yeah. Punk and AJ's dog Larry passed away. Long live Larry. Rest in peace, little pup. George, I don't think Tatum's got a rematch yet. That hasn't been announced to my knowledge. Justin, I was surprisingly impressed with Gunther and Solo. I wasn't looking forward to that match. I don't like heel versus heel matches that often, and I also didn't think Gunther and Solo would have good chemistry, but I was wrong. I thought they had great chemistry with each other last night, and I was very surprised at how well they worked together in the ring. You know, it over delivered based on my expectations, I should say, because I didn't think it was going to be very good at all. But I thought it ended up being really really well done, and the right guy won. So now we have Gunther versus LA Knight Friday on SmackDown. Hey, Dossie, our community predictions champion in the house. Um, I did see, I did see TNA got a TV deal. AMC is a great channel for them to be on. It's a major step up from where they've been before. Hey, Shamanika, good to see you. Gunther and Talatonga, they could absolutely do that at some point for sure. Stax and Ariana Grace having a backstage segment with Joe Hendry and Thea Hale. It was a close competition. Like the top three were within a few points of each other. Okay, it looks like we might get Thea versus Ariana Grace tonight. Okay, here comes Thea. Good question, Shamanika. I wanted to test it out with Survivor Series to see how easy it might be to do. I think I don't know if I'll have. It depends if I have time to put one out for deadline. Because ideally, I would already have it up tonight for you guys to fill out before Saturday, since deadline is this Saturday. I do think we'll try. I think we'll try to get one up for the Saturday night's main event, for the Cena Saturday night's main event, though. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to address a channel mascot issue. I'll be right back. So hang tight on this commercial break. Hey, everybody. Thank you for your patience. All right. Ava's in the back giving announcements. She's about to say something to JC. Okay, so we have a women's 6-woman tag tonight, featuring Fatal Influence and some of the women in the Iron Survivor tonight. So as Ariana makes her entrance, I'm gonna jump back and say hi to everybody. Tyrell, good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by today. Zach Minger, Business of Popping Corn Day. Okay. Happy day to you as well. Dulcie, we already said hi. And Sophie, we've said hi. Yeah, there's been some mixed reviews on Survivor Series. I thought it was a good show. And I think some people just have their expectations too high sometimes. But I thought it was a great show. I mean, all the matches delivered. It intrigue. It built towards this week's wrestling shows, and we had a return to Liv Morgan and that Cena match. The Cena match was actually my favorite match of the night. So, but yeah, good stuff. Oh, Sophie, I'm not happy to see that in 30 days, all the stuff will be getting pulled off Peacock. Is that what it is? I don't like that at all. Mystery hoodie guy. Yeah, I think I wonder it'll be a long time, Justin, but knowing we're going to get Braun Breaker versus CM Punk for the world title on the January Netflix Raw, I bet if he hasn't been unmasked by then, I bet I'll say I at least bet we see him then. It also depends on what other matches are going to be on that Saturday night's main event. If the Vision is somehow involved in that event, not with Cena's last match, but with a match of their own, then I could see him getting involved there too. Oh, Dro, I don't know those fighters, so I'm just going to say Mirab, okay? Let's see. Yeah, you were right on there, George, calling the 6-woman tag tonight. And Dulcie says it best: crash out on that like button like Jey Uso. Just take the whole prime bottle cart and throw it at that like button. You're bound to hit something. You are bound to hit something. Justin, what do you think of the Maxine and Natty video package? I loved it. Oh my gosh, listen, y'all are gonna think I'm overselling it a little bit. I think that was one of the best segments of the whole show, and that was a great show last night. But that Natty Maxine segment was so good. It was so good. It was just exactly what it needed to be. Like it put more toughness on Maxine. To me, it revalidated Natty a little bit, and Natty was being Natty, not cat ears Natalia or whatever. She was being the low-key legend Natty Neidhart, and if that is step one in getting her into the main roster with that persona, I'm here for it. Meanwhile, Joe Hendry just choke slams Stacks onto the ring apron while Thea. Oh, I think Thea's about to get that Kimura on Ariana. Yeah, she ain't got no time. She's tapping. Thea Hale takes that one, which is what I would have predicted in the first place. What's up, Nico? Good to see you. Yeah, Dossie. The wrestling community, I would say corners of the wrestling community are spoiled to a degree. That's one way of putting it. I'll also say they are subconsciously misinformed by expecting all kinds of wrestling to be alike. I understand because we have a 10-person tag match in a cage that it's easy to compare Blood and Guts and War Games. But AEW is just not a product that's comparable to WWE on multiple levels. Meanwhile, OTM and Chase U having a parking lot chat. They almost hit OTM with a car. And he's like, y'all trying to pull up on us, huh? They're like, no. Andre Chase says, they said it's on site. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't mind Chase U being a comedy act, but I miss the days when they were both a comedy act and still like really could go in the ring as a team. And I think those guys, part of NXT is the developmental side of things. They need to develop a little bit. Speaking of developing, here comes Josh Briggs with his smoking skull vest out to the ring. He's going to be taking on Tavion Heights tonight. I imagine Josh Briggs is going to take that one. Thank you, Nico, for liking that button. George has an interesting question about Liv Morgan. George asks, do you see Liv Morgan turning babyface? So I want to put Liv Morgan, and this seems like a really quick commercial break again. I feel like I just got back from a commercial break. Anyway, Liv and Dom are in an interesting situation. Dominic Mysterio, and I've talked around this for months now. I think you guys who are, regular viewers and members of the community and the channel have heard me say stuff like this. But Dominic Mysterio, I think he will turn face at some point, but I think they're only going to be able to turn him face one time. Like they're only going to have one moment where he officially turns face. And I think after that, now let me finish this thought before you start judging me. But because he's almost there now. When he full on does a babyface thing, like I floated out a theory, I think with AJ when we were talking one time about how what if he actually came to Ray's rescue at one point, like at say Ray's retirement, or he's going to lose the mask or something, and Dom comes to save him then to protect his dignity of his father, even though they don't always get along because he respects him. Like he learns how to respect him, but he's still Dirty Dom. He's still basically a Guerrero, right? There can still be a moment where he does a babyface thing and the crowd boos him so well, I can tell they want to cheer him at some point, like they're looking forward to that moment. And when that release valve gets opened and Dom is able to be cheered, he is going to be in the same league. Let me finish this thought again. As Austin, Rock, Randy Orton, which what I mean by that, and Cena now too, which what I mean by that is even if he stays a heel, the fans are never really going to hate him again. Like he's going to be a made man. Dom is very, very close to being a made man, in my opinion. I think Liv is a little further off from that, but she could one day just by being affixed to Dom. That alone probably could pull her up, but I think she could still have a heel turn or two in her. Something I say heel turn like she's not a heel already right now, but yeah, I think it could be one of those things. We'll see. Yeah, I know some people prefer blood and guts, so those just aren't. Yeah, I'm not into something AEW does that I'm not a big fan of is that they go all out all the time. And like, if you say that in a vacuum, it sounds really respectable, but you're teaching your audience to expect escalation every time. So like, who was it in the women's blood and guts match? Sky Blue, who like was bleeding profusely, like in the first 5 or 10 minutes of that match, like Eddie Guerrero, JBL type bleeding, like all that was going on. And then it's like, and then you end the match with Toni Storm giving up because her girlfriend's getting whipped or something like, and I'm like, that feels a little anticlimactic compared to all the violence. You know what I mean? So anyways, I'm not in, it's just one of the many reasons, like I'm not really a fan of AEW, and I try not to talk about them as much because I'm not one of those streamers or channels that wants to, get subscriptions based off of hating on AEW. I'd rather just have it based on liking what we're watching right now, which is, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, those PLEs and stuff, and finding out the things that we do like and celebrating the things we like instead of, trashing the things we don't. But anyway, like War Games and Blood and Guts, they might on paper look like the same match, but it's two different philosophies at play. Justin, I don't know that Americano gets involved with Ivy. I'm not sure. Okay, Drew. Merab wins by submission. Cool. I do love that Super Mario 3 Cena shirt from back in the day. I think CM Punk had one before he came back to WWE, but then WWE made one for Cena. And I'm kind of glad they're doing all these interview segments on the shows in the lead up. It makes me hopeful that this Saturday night's main event will be just the here and now stuff. That's my hope. All right, we got Joe and Leon and Javon and Myles backstage. They're taking on Darkstate tonight. Ava's got a box. What's in the box? What's in the box? Justin, well, yeah, Jay, losing to LA Knight last night, having that crash out, he did seem to sound like Roman. Hold on. Oh, okay. Whoever gets the pin tonight. Okay. So, whoever gets the pin tonight gets to pick their spot in the Iron Survivor match. What's in the box? It's black. So I couldn't even see what that was. Can anybody make out what that was? It's just like a bunch of black paper. Here comes Tavion. Yeah, we got one more week to announce who's on the Saturday night's main event card. Tyrell, what you up to, man? Let's see. I'm wondering about something you think Liv watched the John Cena heel turn during his final run move. Yeah, well, obviously, Liv Morgan's act of turning on John Cena was a callback to Cena's actual heel turn. I think Tatum sent that to Ava. Okay. The hater chants are back in full force for Josh Briggs. Briggs, go away. Okay. Let's see. So Briggs, big boot to Tavion coming out of the corner. Briggs already back in control. Big choke slam here. And a sort of like an H-bomb there. Yeah, Sophie, I'm glad that Cena turned back face tonight. George, I think we will see the culling because we're supposed to get a statement from Izzi Dame tonight. So John Moxley's the hoodie guy. That'd be hilarious. No, I think my leading candidate for that is Austin Theory, just because the way that guy climbed up the cage, that was a young man. I don't think anybody who's been in the business for a decade or more could have climbed the cage that fast, except maybe Shelton Benjamin. I don't think it's Shelton Benjamin. I just think Shelton could have climbed it that fast. But yeah, so I think it's definitely a young man. And if Theory's ready to go, I think that could be it. I did not see Becky Lynch's Twitter video, Sophie. I heard it was good though. I saw that it was like 10 minutes long, and when I ran across it, I was like, I don't have time to watch this right now. No, I don't think it'll be anyone from Evolve, Justin. I think it's going to be NXT at best, but probably a main roster person because that kind of reveal, them, taking a shot at Punk immediately, the reference to Seth Rollins, like I don't see it being someone who's not already on the main roster, but I could be wrong. Shamanika did some. I didn't know someone got injured in the Iron Fire. We, so as far as I know, everybody who was announced for it is still in it. But we'll see it Saturday. Did I think Raw was epic? Oh my gosh, I thought Raw was good. I think a lot of people got obsessed over Triple H saying it was epic. Triple H is a salesman now, so he's always going to be talking up the programs, So it's just silly for people to be like, it wasn't epic. He said it was going to be epic, but it wasn't epic. I'm like, bro, calm down. Like, seriously, calm down. The show was fine. It was really well done. I mean, the main event was great. The Braun Breaker promo was great. The Maxine vignette was great. The Gunther solo match was great. Jay's crash out was really good. Like, I mean, the AJ Styles Dragon Lee New Day match was really good. Like, yeah. Yes, Justin, exactly. The finish to that match was beautiful. And those guys had great chemistry in the ring. It was a lot of fun. Oh, snap. Tavion Heights just ran and crashed Josh Briggs through the barricade. I wasn't expecting that level of aggression in this match. Yeah, no, yep, for sure. That is Punk's reaction was everything in War Games there for sure. But yeah, what was y'all's favorite part of Raw last night? I'm curious because there were a lot of things to choose from, in my opinion. Hmm. Of course, yeah, we do have Deadline coming up this weekend, and yeah, 2 Iron Survivor matches should be a lot of fun, and also Ricky Saints and Obafemi as well in a rematch. So should be a lot of fun. And I'm guessing we'll probably announce a couple more matches. Thought the main event? Okay. Yeah, that tag match was good, Sophie. I imagine JC Jane will have an opponent for Deadline. And the interesting thing is it won't be one of the women in the 6-woman tag. I think Tatum could get another rematch. Well, would Tatum get a rematch? Or are we going to get Tatum and Izzy? I think we might get Tatum versus Izzy at Deadline. And maybe JC gets the night off. I don't know. Justin, I got to admit, I think we'll probably find out who the hooded guy is before Jacob's attacker. I think they're gonna. I have a bad feeling that they're gonna casually forget who attacked Jacob Fatu. Now if it would be wild if Jacob was the masked man, but that certainly didn't look like the body type of Jacob Fatu in that match. And I also don't think he would climb the cage that fast either. Just my opinion. Yeah, Randy's been gone for a while. Yeah, Breaker's promo was something else, Tyrell, for sure. Yeah, the thing about Tatum and Izzy, George, is that if they did that, I don't know if Tatum gets her rematch yet, because doesn't the Iron Survivor winner get the title match at the next PLE? I feel like that's how they did it last year. Maybe that was just coincidental. I don't know if that's what they do every year or not. Yeah, Meltzer thought he was cooking, Sophie. Turns out he was wrong. It's going to be in January, not in April. Man, Briggs on the New Year's Evil. Okay, Shamanica, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. Thank you for confirming that for me. Yeah, it looks like we might be having Cody Roman 3 coming up sometime soon. We'll have to see what Cody says on Friday. They're already advertising him for a segment on SmackDown. I'll tell you what would be wild is, they're going to have Gunther and LA Knight in the tournament final on Friday. And if they could make it work, what I would do is have that main event the show, and whoever's standing there in the ring, surprise, we got one more appearance out of John Cena, and he comes out to stare down the winner. I think that would be fun. I think that would be one more nice shock before the end of the tour. I think Jay's going to be a singles guy at least for a little while longer, Justin. That's just my thought, because he seems to be going on his own path compared to Jimmy. So I wouldn't imagine that he goes back to tags the way that he's acting right now, unless he can convince Jimmy to go to break bad himself. Yeah, but just once, Sophie. Because if Cena stays true to the dates he's committed to, which is just one more date, and that's his last match, whoever wins on Friday is going to have zero build with Cena. They're just going to have to come out and cut promos by themselves. Oh, coming out of nowhere. Yeah, it would be nice. Jay and Rome is a heel tag team. Maybe on a special occasion, Justin, but not for any kind of sustained run. Right, Shamanica, exactly. Yeah, I think the Usos as a face tag team are on their way to being done or are done for a while. Because Jimmy's going to have to either turn heel too to stick with him, or Jay's going to go on his own way. But Jay was already acting like he just didn't want he didn't want to have anybody around him anyways. The weakest person in Fatal Influence, I think I'll say it was I think it's Lainey Reed, but it's close though, because she's the only one who doesn't have a title. She's that third wheel, just like Jasmine Nix was. Tavion got himself distracted with the ref and ate a boot to the back of the head. Man, that ought to do it. Briggs gets the dub over Tavion Heights. Not all that surprising. Decent match. These guys are going for it. Some of the crowd jawing at Briggs. You know, Shamanika, I thought that is something interesting, right? About the hooded figure. Because since they weren't revealed, it can be whoever they want it to be right now, you know? So while I think theory works, doesn't have to be. It can be whoever they want it to be at this point. WCW did that with the Black Scorpion character in 1990, which was a terrible story, but them trying to put some intrigue into a story with Sting. And it just ended up being Ric Flair. All right, here's Izzi Dame, flanked by the culling. Georgia were asking about the culling. Here they are. It would be wild if Izzi Dame cut a Braun Breaker style promo tonight. You know, because they're together off screen. But that would be amusing. Oh, goodness. So here we are on commercial break for NXT. Almost halfway through the show. Shamanika, I have seen a few of the tattoos that Briggs has. Yeah, like before he started like wearing that vest to the ring and stuff, and he's made some slight changes. Like they really stood out for a while. I saw like a Superman and a Green Lantern and a few other things. So I found that to be very distracting for someone of Briggs's gimmick, you know? So we'll see. But yeah, I would expect Izzy to come out. You know, she cut her promo. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tatum tonight as well. Maybe try to exact some revenge. That could be a lot of fun. That men's Iron Survivor match is going to be quite interesting, though. I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about the dude from Darkstate being in it, but otherwise, looking forward to it. Okay. So yeah, we got about 2 minutes left before we're coming in. Oh man, Dossie, I really hope they don't Black Scorpion the reveal, man. Seriously, like the stories I've read, you know, going back to my childhood then and hearing about who it could have been, who they wanted to been, you know. Man, I just don't. I hope not. I hope they don't do that because, like, if they just come back, like, because you imagine if they drug it out and then it ended up actually being Seth, like that would be. I would hate that so much because if it ended up being Seth for real, not that it wasn't Seth the night of Survivor Series. I don't believe that for a second. But if they if they retcon it to make it Seth, it would make no sense that he wouldn't have attacked Braun Breaker first instead of Punk. I don't care how much he hates Punk, but yeah, I wouldn't have gone for that at all. George, do I see a winner in the women's Iron Survivor match? You know, it really depends on if JC is still going to be the champion or not. I think if JC Jane is still NXT Women's Champion, then it's probably going to, I would pick Sol Ruca to win that match. But if somehow Tatum was able to get a rematch and win the belt back from her, I think Kelani Jordynne would be a good winner. I think it's going to be Sol or Kelani. Either way, Kelani seems to have a lot of heat behind her right now, and Sol I mean, I believe they got the belt, those mid card belts off of Soul to elevate her to the main event scene, and so no time like the present to go ahead and crown her as the Iron Survivor winner. So that's my thought on that. All right, back from commercial break. Let's see what we've got next. Some promos or backstage vignettes or what have you. Yep, here comes the culling. So we're going to hear what Izzi Dame's got to say. Oh, yeah, Soul versus Zarya for sure. I mean, I think Zarya being a challenger, to a champion Soul Ruca would be great. Also, we haven't really seen much. I mean, we haven't seen anything tonight from Blake Monroe either, Let's see what she's up to. Justin, when is that show? Wyatt's versus Psycho Circus? Because I've been off on AAA the past couple of shows, but that certainly looked intriguing for sure. I would like to see it. December 20th. Okay. I might be able to swing that. I'll say this about NXT's crowd. When they boo someone, they don't really take time to react to what's actually being said. They just decide to boo them and give them the Dominic Mysterio treatment. And I don't love that. I like it with Dom because he's earned that heat and he didn't always get that heat immediately. He grew to that point. But like Izzy and Josh Briggs, I feel like they're giving the Kelani earlier. I think they're giving them false heat because Izzy's cutting a really good promo right now that they should be booing, but they're just like trying to boo over her. And I just wish they'd take a minute to actually respond to what she's actually saying. Izzy's actually cutting a really good promo here. She's going to make it on the main roster, I think. Crowd chanting, "We want Tatum now." What's interesting is we already all know that Izzy's the heel in this situation, but she's not saying things that are untrue. I hate that they're singing the Addams Family thing when Tatum's not even really out there yet. Hmm. Okay. Izzy's calling the match. Izzy and Tatum one-on-one, the deadline. Oh, there's a voice. Tatum's backstage or sitting in the room where the Culling did their pre-recorded messages. Is he challenging Tatum to come out? Tatum said at deadline, I'm scared because I'm going to have to make you feel all of my pain, which that's a line that can only come from a Tatum Paxley type character, but that was well delivered. Shorter promo, just as good. Zarya has rolled up on the Iron Survivor crew. Oh gosh, dude, I love Ren Sinclair. So yeah, so Zarya showed up to say, "I'm not going to be in your corner tonight since you weren't there for me." But Ren Sinclair saying, "Hey, Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray being like, hey, we got your back, girl. Don't worry about it." So we'll see. We'll see what comes of it all, huh? So that's 4 matches. For deadline now. We've got 2 singles matches and 2 Iron Survivor matches. So I imagine maybe we can get 2 more matches out of it because usually you're dealing with 4 to 6 matches for the NXT PLEs. Yeah, I mean they're teasing that tension for sure with Ruca. I imagine it's just a matter of time before they break apart. But we'll see what comes of it. So, yeah. Which Iron Survivor match are you guys looking most forward to this weekend? Is it the men's match or the women's match, or they about the same, or what are you guys thinking? I might be more look. I think I'm looking more forward to the women's match, to be honest, because I think the men's match will have a lot of memorable spots in it, especially with Javon and Leon in there. But with the winner of the women's match possibly taking down JC again. Um, and I don't think that Ricky Saints is going to lose the title anytime soon. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. It would be a shock though. Let's say Javon wins the men's match and actually upsets Ricky Saints. That would be crazy. Tatum and Izzy. Okay. Modfather's here. Hope everyone's having a blessed evening. Just popping in to show some love, drained and exhausted with tons of work. I feel you, man. I feel you, Modfather. I am not I'm not operating at 100% tonight myself either. So I appreciate you stopping in to say hi and greeting the neighborhood while we're here watching NXT tonight. Sean Swaby in the house. Hey man, Sean, good to see you, dude. Glad you're in here as well. Thanks for stopping by. As we're halfway through NXT tonight, so we've got 6-woman tags still to come, and a 8-man tag as well. And we're got one more match added to Deadline, where Tatum Paxley and Izzi Dame are facing one-on-one at Deadline. So we got 2 Iron Survivor matches, the Saints Obafemi match, and the Tatum and Izzy match. So 4 matches so far. There may be more to come. We'll see. Modfather, nothing groundbreaking really tonight. Just some setup, for Deadline and some pushing towards Deadline. But nothing huge. It's been a solid show, but nothing crazy yet. Just some spots from over this. Oh, no. Modfather, Oba and Ricky is not tonight. It's at Deadline. Sorry, I was recapping the Deadline cards. So that'll be this weekend. I think it's Sunday. Is it Sunday or is it Saturday? Oh, yeah, Saturday. Swaby, I think adding the Iron Survivor would be awesome. I think that would be a great choice in 2K. Sorry, Modfather. Don't worry, man. You rest up, man. Just be rested up by Saturday night, and then we'll be eating good for Deadline. Yeah, I hope they make some decent upgrades for 2K26 when that comes out again. Justin, I could see Zarya playing a role in Sol Ruca's fate in the Iron Survivor match. She could try to help her and win. She could try to help her and fail. Or she could screw her over, and then we've got a heel turn, We'll see what happens. Lola Vice is here. So it's Lola, Sol, and Kendall Gray taking on Fatal Influence. Swaby, I play some of my faction, not a lot. It's probably what I do the least in 2K, but I do play it. I mean, I do it mostly to try to collect hidden characters in the game. But I don't do a lot of online play against others or anything like that. But I prefer to have I just prefer to kind of do offline sort of things in 2K. There we go. Hit that over strut, my father. It's the only way to walk around the house. I did the island. I got the version that had the island, and I was able to. I did that mostly just to collect that was the way to get Goldberg and Nikki Bella in the game, and I think a few others were unlockable that way. So, yeah, I'm just more of a collector, obviously. All right, Lainey Reed and Lola Vice starting things off. And now all 6 women are coming in to argue. Man. Goodness gracious, Kendall Gray. Man, that was that the ladder match, Modfather? I hated that match so bad. I do not like this is something they can get rid of is timed objectives in those matches. Hated that. Hated it. I mean, oh man, I almost broke a controller over that. Because trying to do that in a ladder match in the first place, ugh. When do you think we get a number 1 contender match for the women's IC title? I wouldn't be surprised if we get it as early as next week. Justin? Sol Ruca in there with Lainey Reed now. Give it one more shot. I feel you, man. And after that, uninstalling. Yep. Oh man, so frustrating. So mama. Oh, nice. I'm not a huge fan of the My Faction things because I like the idea of being able to unlock a character, but I don't like unlocking a character having to buy cards and have a certain character to unlock another character. I don't care for that at all. So like when they announced the TNA version of AJ Styles was coming into the game, like I already there were like 5 different cards you already had to have just to try and unlock it. And I'm like, I'm not spending real money on this, man. This is ridiculous. And big overhead suplex from Kendall Delaney. Now drop toe hold to JC. Who do I see taking the speed title from Fallon? That's a good question. I just don't know yet at this juncture. I think it would be fun if like a Ren Sinclair got it. Since her and Kendall, are kind of buddies, I could see them sort of having a feud with Fallon and Laney. Oh yeah, the tribal chief entrance. I feel you, dude. There it is. Yeah, that's worth doing. Okay. And we're on break. Man. Yeah. So solid 6-woman tag at this part. Yeah, no, you're right. Justin, Miss Parker has been a little absent from the forefront here for the last little bit. Um, I'm curious what she's up to, if she just has time off or if they're, I wouldn't say repackaging, but maybe, pulling her off a little bit to reintroduce her again. Sometimes that happens for people. But yeah, she had a pretty solid run for a while, and I haven't seen her on TV in a few weeks. Not in any matches or anything. All right, Fallon in there with Kendall Gray now while they're on break. Yeah, that's actually not a bad look. Jada Parker being the next speed champion, it wouldn't be a bad thing at all because she can wrestle a good speed style, hit because her signature moves and stuff are all really hard hitting. So she could work that out. That wouldn't be a bad call at all. Good call, Justin. Good call. She was at the Tampa game, huh? Interesting. It feels like there's a little bit of an abundance of commercial breaks tonight. It's crazy. I know. I think for as many, I've talked about it before. There is a pretty deep, talented roster that has come and gone from NXT over the past year. When you think about some of the talent that's already been called up, or talent that's emerging now and stuff, with all those people passing through, it is a little crazy that for all the time he's spent in there, Javon still hasn't held a title at all, and that Jada hasn't really either. So that is intriguing. All right, we're coming back from break now with Fallon Henley in control on Kendall Gray. Can imagine things starting to break down here pretty soon. Oh man, I tell you what, man, JC Jane. I don't like her. Okay, I know, and we don't want to like her necessarily, but she is a great striker as a pro wrestler. Like her spinning back fist, her kicks, like she lays her stuff in there. Man, JC crotch chops Lola Vice. That's a dangerous move, bro, sis. Because Lola Vice might be the best striker in this match. You want to be careful with all that. Oh, Ken cheap shots Laney on the apron and then gets her way out of harm's way. And Lola has been tagged into the match now. Now she's just throwing hands on every member of Fatal Influence and feet. Throwing feet too. Yeah, they did, Justin. I mean, I don't know, man. Boom, hip attack to Laney and to JC. You just heard, by the way, Corey Graves is on commentary with Vic Joseph tonight. Booker T's not here. And after after Lola Vice did her, little taunt before the hip attacks. I did a double take because Corey Graves just gave us an "oh yeah, man." It's hilarious. Soul's in now with Fallon Henley. Shoulder breaker. You don't see shoulder breakers much anymore. Breaking out an old school move. Soul Ruca. I have a feeling. Oh no, Fallon's still the legal woman. I could see Soul Ruca pinning JC Jane in this match to make her the favorite in the Iron Survivor, getting her that visual pin over the women's champion. Blockbuster from Fallon, who's already tagged in Lainey Reed. Oh, Vic Joseph said JC Jane is actually the legal woman. My bad. All right, now we're getting wow. Kendall Gray, man, she's got moves. I can't even describe what she did. I might have to show you with a figure in a second. It's Soul and JC. Roll up. Caught her with the Soul Snatcher right in the middle of the ring. And there it is. Soul Ruca just pinned JC Jane right in the middle of the ring. Foreshadowing. I think it's crazy that the first time Stephanie Vaquera did a Devil's Kiss on the announce table, Booker wasn't there. So I want to show you this move that Kendall Gray pulled off on Lainey Reed. It was one of those wheelbarrow type moves, right? Where she was pulled up. This is Lainey. I'm sorry, this is Lainey. And this is Kendall Gray. So she pulls her up in a wheelbarrow and she turns in midair and pulls it into a flatliner out of midair. And like, it was so clean. It was wild. Oh, snap. Zarya just came out and speared Kendall Gray. But Vic Joseph is suggesting that Zarya was aiming for Soul Ruca and missed. The plot thickens. NXT Anonymous. Ricky Saints and Javon roasting each other backstage is actually pretty entertaining. Javon said, I was only 3 seconds away from winning Iron Survivor last year, but that ain't going to happen this year. I'm taking it. And Ricky was just like, well, you know, Oba ain't in the match this time. So good. Oh, 100%. Whenever they're ready for Kendall Gray, she can go after any title she wants in NXT. I would almost have her skip the speed title and go after the North American title. Javon is such a unique character. All right, here comes OTM. I guess we get an OTM and Chase U. I can't imagine this match to be too long. What's up, Rickardy? Well, welcome to the chat, my friend. Shmonica asked, do you think they can make a storyline out of NXT Anonymous? You know, wrestling companies have done the voyeur, creeper exposing people's conversations backstage angles before. And I can't remember it ever really paying off super satisfying in a super satisfying way. So I kind of hope they don't. I hope they don't make too big of a story out of it. I honestly hope that if they do pay it off, it would just be inconsequential, like the way Hornswoggle was Vince McMahon's kid. Like you can reveal who it is at some point, but I wouldn't have them wind up being someone. Although I'll tell you this, based on the things we've been seeing, it would make a whole lot of sense if they were intending on NXT Anonymous being someone, having it be Shiloh Hill, the LFG guy, because every time we're getting vignettes with him, he's working around different he's around computers, he's telling really weird, kind of uncomfortable stories sometimes, and he seems like the kind of character who could be capable of that. So there's that. Justin, I think OTM takes this one. I don't know that Chase U really needs any wins because they're not really being treated like much of a threat in the first place. Meanwhile, they're trying to make something out of OTM, so I think they're going to handle business pretty easily here tonight. I feel that, George. I wasn't particularly impacted by OTM's entrance theme either. Def Rebel's still Def Rebelin' out here, even though some of the top tier stars are still getting their old music back, which we're all thankful for. But yeah, actually, Shamanica, thank you for asking that question because it didn't even dawn on me that maybe they could use Shiloh Hill as NXT Anonymous. Yeah, that could be something. But then you got to figure out like who do you pair him up with in a feud, for his first feud coming in. Myles Borne wouldn't be a bad option. Like somebody, like some performer who's already got a lot of, who's like a seasoned veteran of NXT at this point, but isn't like a champion. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Someone he could go over and it wouldn't hurt them, like a Tavion Heights or a Myles Borne. Because I don't think either of them doesn't seem like creatives in a real rush to platform those guys in any way. All right, we're almost back from commercials. And I imagine we'll be getting ready to start action between OTM and Chase U. But we're going to get a John Cena segment first. Oh, they're recapping Money in the Bank 2011, which I think they did this on Raw too. George, I think it was the right call having Sol Ruca pin JC Jane. It gives all the fans this, this idea, this notion that one, Sol could beat JC, and that she might, be able to pull it off this weekend in the Iron Survivor match. I do think she's the favorite going into that match. So we'll see what happens. Chase U or Alpha Academy? Oh, Alpha Academy. Versus this version of Chase U? Alpha Academy 100%. I don't think either of those boys can handle Otis, let alone Otis and Tozawa together. Darkstate backstage. Okay, so Dion Lennox, who is in the men's Iron Survivor Challenge, has relinquished his tag title to Saquon Sugars. Darkstate trying to roast Obafemi. Dion Lennox just grew a backbone. Dion Lennox just cut a far more threatening promo on Obafemi than Ricky Sainz has ever done. I'm not locked in on Darkstate yet at this point, though. They've regressed a little bit. But boy, the way he cut that promo makes me feel like they want them to be a thing, though. Because now Dion's not even holding that tag belt anymore. Right, Sean? It's like the free bird rule. Yeah, exactly. The free bird rule, the New Day rule, whatever you want to call it. Okay, Chase, you trying to get the jump on OTM. Yeah, I don't expect Dion Lennox to win. I'll be upset if he does, for sure. Can I imagine if Dom and Liv Team Canada for the AAA Mixed Tag title? Yeah, I mean, that would be wild. Big swanton from Chase U. Only two. But yeah, they're cooking. They're cooking so good with Chelsea and Ethan right now. I don't see it happening, but that would be pretty wild. Big slap and chop from OTM. All right, tag from Chase U. Yeah, OTM and Darkstate. It would have potential. It would have potential for sure. Yeah, Sean. Doing the free bird rule there with Darkstate. Although Dion did made a concerted effort to explain that he wanted that it would be selfish for him to hold on to that tag belt while he's chasing singles gold, which is that's kind of a babyface move if I'm being honest. Yeah, and his promo on Obafemi was not super heelish to me either. So it's interesting. Jeez. Did like a drop in World's Strongest Slam. Only two. I know. That's crazy that Dom and Ethan Page are both AAA champions right now. I'm surprised that Dom still has that belt, to be honest. I thought it was just like a little hot shot PR stunt kind of thing. But for Dom still to be mega champion is pretty wild. I don't know if they were counting on how over Dom was going to be with the Mexican crowds. You're right. Connor's trying to do something here against OTM. He gets caught, though. Oh, responded with a kick. Oh, big tornado DDT. Only 2. OTM still breaks up the pin. Springboard stunner from Chase U. They're making Chase U really competitive in this match, but they might be out of it now. They both get dropped on the outside by OTM. Looks like we're about to get a tag finisher here. Suplex into a spine buster. That's 3. OTM takes it. Yeah, who's going to take the AAA Mega title from Dom? Well, it's not going to be Penta probably because he's he's hurting right now. He's out injured, and it would be wild if Ray took it from him. Ray Mysterio, I should say, not Ray Phoenix. Speaking of AAA, here's a flashback 2 weeks ago. Yeah, Sean, it's an interesting development that Cena already dropped the title. You and the Invisible Man, referring to John Cena. That's funny. Mr. Iguana's here and he just stole Ethan's car. So looks like we're getting Ethan Page versus Mr. Iguana for the North American title. I'm not sure if that is for. I'm assuming it's for Deadline. They didn't actually clarify if it's for Deadline, but hey, man, I'm sure Mr. Iguana's got that Geico insurance though. He'll be all right. Yeah, Ava's really in her bag tonight. She seems to be more assertive, having more fun. This has been one of the better Ava nights, which is not necessarily a high bar to clear, but she's doing a good job tonight. But we're down to half hour left in the show, so in the last 30 minutes, we're supposed to get a contract signing between Ricky Saints and Obafemi and our 8-man tag. Lead up to Iron Survivor as well. So I think Dr. Wagner could get involved in that match, Justin. That's a good question. Because they're not fully done yet, are they? Those two. So we shall see after all. Mr. Iguana is going after the Canada title or North American title, as its proper name is what he's going after. All right, everybody. Well, thank you guys for joining me tonight as we're into the last leg of NXT tonight. I know my energy level maybe hasn't quite been at 100%, but I appreciate your willingness to stick with me as we've gotten through the evening. And it's been a solid show, I'd say, tonight. You know, the shows right before a PLE are always a little, you don't always expect there to be a huge thing happen. I guess you could say they're not epic, but those can sometimes be a little bit of a holding pattern, before we get to the big PLE. So the main event tonight is the 8-man tag, Darkstate versus Joe Hendry, Leon and Javon, and Myles Borne. So basically, the Iron Survivors against Darkstate. So we should be coming back any second now. Oh, here's Shallow Hill. See, now, doesn't this look like someone who could be NXT Anonymous? Shiloh's so creepy, dog. Now he's talking about the Undertaker. Yeah, Shallow staying real creepy. Bro, so weird. So weird. Corey Graves said he doesn't have both oars in the water. All right, Ethan Page versus Mr. Iguana coming this weekend to Deadline, North American Championship. Survivor challenges, of course, coming up this weekend. Okay. I thought we were doing a contract signing tonight. I guess we're not because we're doing the main event now. Interesting. Iguana and Truth, that would be a good segment together for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, I owe you guys an apology. So obviously you've been able to tell that I'm not 100% here tonight, but I think sometime in that last segment, I'm starting to crash a little bit. And so in the interest of making sure I'm 100% for deadline this weekend, as you can hear, my voice is starting to give a little bit too. Your boy is I can feel myself starting to slip and starting to get kind of weak. So I regret to let you know I'm probably just going to cut tonight's stream a little short. I'm sorry to do that right before the main event. I'll still try to update you guys on the channel and definitely intend on trying to be here Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, depending on where you are for deadline, so we can rock together with that. But I need to go take care of myself before things get worse. I can feel that. So I just want to apologize. I'm sorry about that, guys, but I'm gonna dip for tonight. I appreciate you guys so much. I will see you all very soon. But you guys take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of the show, and I will holler at you guys next time. Okay, take care of yourselves.